for 4 years in college. And I hated going to the gym. And the closest thing for me to kind of heal myself, besides going to physical therapy every day, which wasn't an option, was to try yoga, Tai Chi, and Pilates. And I ended up sticking with yoga and loved it. And not only did it take care of me physically with all the injuries I have, but deep down, I was having this reckoning of healing myself. At the time, I wouldn't have called it that. I just didn't know what was happening, but I knew that something needed to be addressed and change and maybe unearth some of my, I don't want to say skeletons, but now there's a word, right? We can label it as trauma. And yoga tended to do all of that. And I just thought, what the hell is going on? I feel incredible. I feel grounded. I feel good. My stuff is coming up, but I feel safe. And physically, I just felt so fit, and mentally so sharp. And then spiritually, I was starting to have an awakening of sorts, and I could tie it all back to yoga. And I thought, man, I could do this till I'm 80. And I thought, I'm going to teach this one day. And I thought maybe I would teach it when I retired from my career. And little did I know that a couple years later, I'd have an opportunity after 9/11 to go to a teacher training. And I've been doing it ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, when you were first starting to explore the field of yoga, what were the major demographics that you were seeing, including your teachers and fellow
My
students?
teacher was a white woman, but I started doing yoga in Pittsburgh. I live in Denver. I was in Pittsburgh because I went to school out there. Even though she was a white woman, I could definitely classify her as working class, blue collar, a woman who had struggled in her life. And so I feel like I really connected to her. For the first time, I felt like, oh, one-on-one, I knew I could be vulnerable with her and kind of let my guard down. And I started doing classes with her in a group setting for a couple of months. And then I moved, and I still wanted her as a teacher. So I was super lucky to have her in my life for at least a year and a half, where she came to my home and taught me private lessons at least 3-4 days a week for about almost 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then my practice just took off from there. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she really invested in you.
Oh, yeah. And vice versa. I think we really saw each other, and as much as people thought it was crazy to be doing yoga or meditating, because it was very different then. And I was very open to it. I was from Colorado. I grew up in Boulder, very tree hugging. At the time, I was a vegetarian. I didn't drink, so it just really aligned with me. We're two weirdos kind of communing together to practice yoga. That's what I said, before it got popular and commercialized, and, we just understood each other. We got it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And before you got started, or I guess as you were getting started, did you have any hesitations or concerns about doing yoga in a public place?
No,
Okay.
it just felt right. For the first time, everything just aligned. I mean, I had grown up with my parents being spiritual people. And when I say spiritual, I mean via religion. I would literally, as a child, go to 2 or 3 different types of churches every Sunday because my parents were seeking for something spiritual. They
Yes.
were also very invested in the community. My father started a minor league baseball league here in Denver. So, athletics, spirituality, but nothing was connecting. And so, yoga really connected that for me. When I say athletics, I mean the hatha, the physical form of yoga, a way to stay healthy and present. And then it took care of the spiritual aspects, the spirituality aspects, without me tying my spirituality to a religion or to a building, a place of worship. So it all came together all at the same time. And for the first time as an adult, it felt right. It felt right. Yeah. I mean, I would walk into a Catholic church and be a little triggered, like seeing Jesus up there, like scaring me. I'm like, what's going on here? This is supposed to make me feel safe. Why do I feel so scared? And the smells of churches, I'm like, this is really weird. But no, yoga tied it all together and it made a lot of sense. It just resonated with me. I felt safe. I felt comforted as I worked through my stuff. And, yeah, that's the best word I can describe, is that it just felt right, that I was at the right place at the right time, healing myself. And I felt super safe.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Mhm.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yoga does do that.
Hmm.
Now, within just the overall studio space, I know that you talked a little bit about the instructor making you feel welcome. And then this also doesn't have to be limited to that specific studio or place where
Hmm.
you were primarily taking yoga classes. But in looking back, were there any times where you felt uncomfortable in the studio space?
I
And
have,
then,
and I would say that's more recent, just because
okay.
what you heard me say to you, and as I expressed myself, I keep saying, I started doing yoga, practicing yoga, teaching it before it was cool, right?
Hmm.
Once it got cool, and when I mean cool, it's like everyone knew about it, whether it was commercial
Hmm.
marketing, and then it got cool, then Lululemon and all the clothes and all that, and then studios started to pop up everywhere. Then I think that's when it got kind of, I guess, disheartening and concerning. Studios started to pop up everywhere, and then I realized, ooh, let's take a look. Where are these studios located? Very affluent neighborhoods in Colorado, super expensive places, right? And luckily, because I was a teacher, I either got to practice for free or highly, highly, highly discounted places, where maybe a drop in was $5 for me. And then I
Okay.
started to look around and think it's changed. It now feels like a country club, right? And I say the word country club where it's stereotypical, very exclusive, right? The exclusivity of it being so expensive now only allows a particular demographic to show up and practice. Are you there? Hello? You're breaking up.